Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the DFS Minute for tonight, Monday night, April 27th. I'm your host, Michael Rathburn, a.k.a. Rath. You can hit me up on Twitter at fantasyrath.com. We're here on rotocurve.com with this DFS Minute. A little bit of chaotic situation here. We almost have to be CNN watchers tonight only because of this Orioles-White Sox game with the potential riot. Everything looks like it's going to be okay as far as the baseball game. Obviously, there's more things to be worried about in Baltimore than the baseball game, but you are watching this video for baseball information. So all reports do say that that game's okay. I'm staying away from the game in general, just my personal preference. I'm just not going to play anybody in the game. There were a couple bats that I like, but I think there's some other opportunities out there anyway. Now, we do have some weather situations. It looks like potential tornado in Texas, Seattle. I'm staying off that game based on the weather reports and everything that's coming out. A lot of wind tonight that we need to pay attention. Winds blowing in the Chicago Cubs-Pittsburgh Pirates game. Okay, that total came out at 7. It's pretty low. I've been public that I think the number is low. Even with the wind, Vance Worley's not a really good pitcher. Jason Hamels can get lit up at any point. I may be wrong here, but I do think 7's low. I look at the Cubs lineup, and this is a much better Cubs lineup than it was a year ago. Much like the Padres, I think that maybe it's being underrated. I just can envision a situation where the Cubs blow up tonight. Vance Worley's the kind of guy that can do it. And you may be able to take advantage of that. There may be a lot of people that are off that game looking at the 7 total, looking at the wind. I think if you're firing an entry into a large field tournament, there might be an opportunity to load up on some Cubs, especially guys like Rizzo and Montero coming from the left side. Soler obviously has a huge power upside as well. So that's my take on that game. We have winds blowing out in Yankee Stadium, 14 miles an hour and slightly to right field. That's huge because of the short porch in Yankee Stadium that does favor left-handed hitters hitting home runs. So do look at getting some of those left-handed bats on the Yankees tonight. I think McCann, Ellsbury's a little bit high priced, but I think McCann and Gardner are guys that definitely have some value that I'm going to be looking at, especially McCann at the catcher spot with the ability of hitting a home run. It's always something you want to look at. Also, Cincinnati, Milwaukee, wind is blowing out there, 12 miles an hour. We also have Dodgers and the Giants. The wind is blowing out to right field, so that's going to favor left-handed hitters. Lefty going on the mound for the Dodgers and Anderson, so you don't obviously want to take any left-handed bats from the Giants, but I think Adrian Gonzalez is in play, and Andre Ethier is absolutely in play as a guy that I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Pretty much a value play lock for me tonight in the industry. The other situation we have, we talk Cardinals and the Phillies. The wind is blowing in, so slight play and slight lean on John Lackey tonight. Mostly on a 2-pitcher site. You can pair him up with Price. I think he'll be okay. You'll have a floor there going against Philadelphia. I do like the line in that game as well. So I think that there's an opportunity there. And Hamels has been so-so. I think he'll come up okay tonight. I think he'll get it right, but I do like the Cardinals at home in this spot. All right, let's run down some of the plays tonight. Pitching at first, talked about David Price this morning. Nothing's really changed. Obviously, all in on David Price tonight, especially on FanDuel, 1-pitcher site, in your head-to-heads and your 50-50s. The whole world's probably going to be on Price, but that's okay because you can still win with your hitters and wash it out if he does bad. Lackey, talked about him. Also talked about McHugh and Shields earlier today. That number is still at 6.5. I do like this line. I do like a pitcher's duel in this game tonight, so I think both guys – if you want to get cute and play some of those late games and go both sides, especially on DraftKings, I think you can get away with it and be fine. And that's not usually a strategy that I would recommend, but in this situation, everything kind of lines up, and I wouldn't have a problem doing it. Catcher, McCann would be the value play. Posey would be the high-end play for me tonight. Also, we do have picks loaded up at rotocurve.com. Just go to DFS Tools, go to today's MLB picks, and you'll be able to go in there. And right now we have them for DraftKings. So you have a high, a mid, and a low sometimes, depending on what's on the slate. And we give you some picks that we like for the night. You can build your own lineups through those picks. We're not looking to spoon feed lineups, but if you're looking to do something quick, you don't have time to watch a 1-hour show or read a 3-page article, that's something that you can definitely reference along with this show, as we do have late breaking news and lineups and things like that. So McCann as a value, Posey as a high-end guy at first base. I'm sorry, a catcher. First base is absolutely loaded. There's a gazillion guys out there tonight. So I'm going to give you two value that I like. I like Zimmerman and I like Lind as value plays. And then as my big bopper, I think I would go with Goldschmidt at home against a lefty and Matzik with a high total. Goldschmidt's in a really good spot. Goldschmidt can even give you a steal every now and then, which is nice. Second base, I think you can go D. Gordon, but I'm going to go off him. I'm looking at Kinsler because I think the Tigers may be in line for a big night tonight against that weak lefty. So he's hitting at the top of the lineup. So gotta like Kinsler as more of a upper tier play. And then Utley would be my value play, hitting third at 2.6 on FanDuel. Third base, I don't think there's a ton there tonight, in my opinion. Value play, I'd go with Tomas from the Diamondbacks at 2.2 on FanDuel, hitting fifth against a lefty at home. And then if you want to pay up, I think Chris Bryant, even with the win situation and righty-righty, you got that power upside hitting in the middle of that lineup. I think the Cubs could jump all over Worley tonight, and I'd want a piece of Chris Bryant. So he'd be the guy I'd pay up at third base for tonight. At shortstop, I think there's just value there tonight. Iglesias hitting second at 2.5 on FanDuel is somebody I'm definitely going to be looking at. If I don't go Kinsler, then I'm probably going to go Iglesias, or if I go Iglesias, and I'm probably not going to go Kinsler, because as we said before, with those with the head-to-heads and with the 50-50s, you want to try to diversify hitters from games as much as possible. Don't load up on 3 or 4 hitters from one game, because if it goes south, then you're going to be left holding the bag, and we don't want that. So, try to get a piece of Kinsler or Iglesias, I think, tonight. Get one, don't get both, because there's other options out there. Rollins would be the other guy that you could look at as a potential leadoff guy with a really nice salary going against Lincecum. So I really like that spot. A lot of value in the outfield. I'm going to hit you with a couple guys that I really like. Jason Worth hitting second at 2.8 on FanDuel. Righty against a weak lefty, hitting at the top of the lineup, which is nice. Matt Williams is kind of playing some crazy games with the lineup, but we can take advantage of the Jason Worth spot tonight. There's some other lineup spot with the Nationals I don't quite get, but, that's Matt Williams for you. The other guy that I absolutely like at 2.6 on FanDuel is Andre Ethier, hitting second, bumped up in the lineup, wind blowing out to right field. So Ethier is probably going to be a staple in my lineups tonight. Some other potential plays, we mentioned Brett Gardner earlier. That would be a guy with the wind blowing out in Yankee Stadium going against the righty. Opportunity for a double, triple, or home run tonight for Gardner for sure. With Ellsbury hitting in front of him and can't hit behind him, I think you're going to want to have at least 1 or 2 Yankees in your lineup tonight. No more than 2 for sure. So you could go McCann and you could go Gardner. Cespedes is a nice value tonight, although he is hitting 6, so that is a little bit lower than what I would want, but I still think there's good value. A sneaky guy you might want to look at, Gerardo Parra at 2.2 FanDuel, minimum price, hitting third tonight in the middle of that lineup. Now, the Brewers lineup is decimated. There's really not a lot out there, but I think you may want a piece of Lind or Parra tonight in that game going against Jason Marquis. So that would be something I'd look at. Also, the wind's blowing out in that game too. So let's see how that plays out. And then I think a tournament play would be some of those right-handed bats from the Diamondbacks. Again, we mentioned Tomas, we mentioned Goldschmidt, and then the last guy would be Mark Trumbo. Definitely a tournament-only play for me in the outfield as you're looking for that home run potential. And I think against Matzik tonight, some of these righty D-backs do have potential of hitting some home runs tonight. So keep an eye on the weather. Keep an eye on what's going on in Baltimore, and most of the lineups are out. So I want to wish everybody luck tonight. Thanks again for tuning in and all the support that you've been giving us. 2 radio spots today if you want to check them out on demand. Sirius XM on the RotoWire show at 1 o'clock. I did a DFS segment on the RotoWire show with Jeff Erickson and Chris Liss. And then on SoundCloud tomorrow, you can check out Sports Zone 1060, Phoenix, Arizona. I did a spot with Bob Kemp on the NBC affiliate out there in Phoenix, so you can check that out as well. All right, guys, wish you well tonight. We got some big qualifiers in the industry. Wish everybody the best, and hopefully we'll hear that somebody from RotoCurve had a big score tonight. As we always say here at RotoCurve, stay classy, DFS.